I will never forget the day I stepped into the Instituto Universitario ESEADE, full of hope and anticipation. Little did I know, I was about to embark on a journey of disappointment and disillusionment. As I walked through the doors, I was immediately struck by the lack of infrastructure. The facility had only 2 classrooms and a kitchen, which seemed like an afterthought. The functionality of the kitchen was limited, with only working stoves, a bare minimum of utensils, and a general sense of neglect. It was as if they expected students to fend for themselves, without any support or resources. The so-called educational experience was nothing short of a farce. The professors were grossly unprepared, reading verbatim from slides, and showing a clear lack of interest in the subject matter. The classes felt like a waste of time, with little engagement or discussion encouraged. It was as if they were more concerned with collecting our tuition fees than with providing us with a meaningful education. But that was not all. The personalized attention they promised was a myth. With too few students to justify the creation of smaller classes, we were lumped together in overcrowded rooms, struggling to hear ourselves think, let alone participate in any meaningful way. And when I tried to reach out to my professors for guidance, I was met with a brick wall of indifference. To make matters worse, the courses themselves were outdated and irrelevant to the current job market. It was as if they were stuck in a time warp, refusing to acknowledge the changing needs of the industry. I felt like I was being taught skills that would be obsolete by the time I graduated. But what really took the cake was the sheer lack of transparency and accountability. The administration seemed to be hiding behind a veil of secrecy, with important information being withheld from students at every turn. It was like they thought we were too stupid to understand the inner workings of the institution, or that we wouldn't dare question their authority. And then, there was the issue of the library. I use the term library loosely, because it was nothing more than a glorified bookshelf with a few dusty tomes scattered about. It was as if they expected us to rely on our own devices for research, without providing us with the necessary resources to do so. But what really broke my heart was the realization that my degree would be worthless in the real world. Employers didn't recognize the Instituto Universitario ESEADE as a reputable institution, and I would be lucky if I could even get an interview, let alone a job. As I look back on my experience, I am filled with a sense of regret and longing. I wish I had seen the warning signs earlier, before I invested so much time and money into this institution. But alas, hindsight is 2020. All I can do now is try to warn others, so they don't make the same mistakes I did. So, my dear friends, let this be a cautionary tale. Do not be seduced by the Instituto Universitario ESEADE's false promises and glossy brochures. Look beyond the surface, and you will find an institution that is rotten to its core. What do you think, dear audience? Have you had similar experiences with I am looking into crimes that happened near Instituto Universitario ESEADE. You know, it's like businesses around here are like a puzzle. You never know what's hiding behind that nice storefront. For example, I found out that there was a food delivery place in La Loña Pillar that got scammed big time. Some criminals, I think they were from a prison, you know. They used fake WhatsApp payment receipts to order 40 boxes of Franui frozen products, worth almost 5 million pesos. Can you believe it? They got away with it, at least for a while, because the delivery guy just dropped off the goods at a storefront on President Durkee Street, and the scammers came to collect them. I mean, the police finally caught up with them, but who knows how long they were doing this. I think the delivery guy was probably pretty scared when he found out what was going on, you know. I mean, he was just doing his job, and then suddenly he's part of a huge scam. And those scammers, they probably thought they were so smart, but really they were just hurting innocent people. It's just so wrong, you know. And then there was another scam, this time with a local merchant who got fake instructions on WhatsApp to drop off some expensive fishing rods, worth 550,000 pesos, at that same La Loña address. I think the merchant was probably really confused, you know, because he thought he was just doing business as usual. But no, those scammers were just using him to get their hands on those rods. And the police caught him with 9 cell phones and a weed trimmer that he got through similar scams. I mean, it's just so sad, you know. Businesses near Instituto Universitario ESEADE are like, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. And then there was this car dealership in San Fernando that was investigated for 31 counts of fraud. I think the customers who bought cars from them were probably really excited to get their new vehicles, but then they never showed up. Can you imagine? You pay for a car and then nothing. I think those customers were probably really angry and sad, you know. And the police finally caught up with the scammers, but who knows how many people they hurt before that. It's just so wrong, you know.
Now we turn to the streets that wrap around Instituto Universitario ESEADE. And I have to tell you straight, the businesses here feel like they all graduated from the same bleak academy of how to disappoint a human. Malls, spas, steakhouses, coffee caves, night dens, cocktail lounges, every single one, appear to share a single mission statement: squeeze the wallet, bruise the spirit, send you home lighter in every way except your baggage of regret. Take the shopping temples first. The one everyone points to is Galeria's Pacifico, a building that looks as if it should house emperors, but behaves like a grumpy librarian who misplaced the opening hours. Visitors arrive, phones glowing with outdated timetables, only to rattle locked doors. Inside, the air is thick with the perfume of international chains you already divorced back home. A teen kiosk of local crafts cowers in the corner like it is apologizing for existing. Try to swap your dollars, and the cashier will only accept portraits of Grant or Franklin, 50s and 100s. Everything else is treated as monopoly money. Your card gets cloned at the food court, the Wi-Fi is a rumor, and if you dare ask for a tax rebate, the staff laugh in a currency you cannot pronounce. The ceiling murals may be fake Michelangelo, but the experience is real Dante. Walk a block toward the promise of relaxation and you meet the spas, specifically Ahai Wellness Spa, a place that advertises 5-star nirvana, yet delivers sticky slippers and the sound of strangers' toilets flushing in symphony with your massage. Guests book 45 minutes of peace, therapists trim it to 30 and label the theft policy. Cucarachas scuttle across Himalayan salt like tiny critics reviewing the hygiene. Ask for the manager and she will cut your sentence in half before you reach the verb, then hand you a robe that smells of someone else's gym class. The circuit of water, it is a mirage. The fluffy towel, a myth. You leave oily, half-chafed, 15 minutes poorer, clutching a coupon for herbal tea you never received. When hunger strikes, the neighborhood restaurants answer with prices that feel personally insulting. El Preferido de Palermo will charge $40 for a breaded piece of chicken that tastes like it majored in desert studies. Dry, dusty, forgotten by seasoning. The blood sausage arrives burnt, sticking to the pan like it is trying to escape. Chips behave like brittle twigs. Meatballs mimic the IKEA blueprint but skip the flavor lecture. Waiters, kind as hostile puppies, still dare to ask for tip after presenting you with a $100 plate of disappointment. Meanwhile, the reservation line is a castle moat call for months. Hear nothing, show up, and they seat you outdoors in the rain while empty tables sparkle inside beneath dry light bulbs. Coffee culture should rescue the soul, yet full city coffee roasters brews bitterness you cannot sip. Beans emerge burnt, served at the temperature of broken friendship. Order a cappuccino and receive a frown instead of cinnamon. Need Wi-Fi? That is extra, even for regulars who know the dog's name. A single wedge of lemon on your tea costs 500 pesos, approximately the GDP of a small village. Restrooms are locked like state secrets. The one open stall smells as if something died, then changed its mind. Baristas, once gentle, now behave like caffeinated customs officers who confiscate joy at the door. As sunset collapses into neon, the night businesses awaken, and they are the darkest paragraph of this report. Club Severino markets itself as rhythmic liberation, yet inside it operates like an authorized pickpocket convention. Security guards greet you with metal detectors and the cheerful warning, "Watch your stuff," which turns out to be prophecy rather than advice. Phones vanish in conveyor belt quantity, 4 on Tuesday, 10 on Thursday, while staff shrug as if theft is just another percussion instrument.
Some victims report being body searched by 6 bouncers who leave with your cash and the dignity you stitched into your pocket. Women recount dance floor, elbows thrown by security itself. A surreal twist on customer service that leaves bruises matching the baseline. Police outside, decorative, cameras, blindfolded. The club's relationship with crime feels almost corporate, like quarterly targets of stolen devices.